And now turning to China, despite Beijing's denials of alleged human rights abuses against Uyghur Muslims and other ethnic minorities in the Xinjiang region, the United Nations says it now has proof of the atrocities. In turn, China has warned that the UN must avoid being used by Western political forces. However, after the wolf warrior-style diplomatic attack, China has agreed to engage with the UN human rights body on Xinjiang, but not without certain conditions. Our next report goes into detail.
2 years ago, the United Nations released a groundbreaking report, a report that accused China of potential crimes against humanity in Xinjiang. The report was published just before former UN Human Rights Chief Michelle Bachelet left office. It urged Beijing to reverse its policies targeting Uyghurs and other ethnic Muslims. These policies included mass detentions, forced labor, and political indoctrination, with evidence drawn from satellite images, leaked documents, and eyewitness testimonies. On Wednesday, the UN Human Rights Office said little has changed since the report came out in 2022. Spokeswoman Ravina Shamdasani revealed that many of the controversial laws and policies in Xinjiang remain intact despite ongoing dialogue. And in response, the Chinese authorities called on the Human Rights Office to avoid being used by political forces that aim to contain and smear China.
China is ready to have constructive exchanges and cooperation with the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights based on mutual respect. We believe the office should also perform duty impartially and objectively, respect all countries' sovereignty, respect objective facts, work together with other countries to conduct constructive dialogue and cooperation, reject acts that politicize human rights or stoke division and confrontation, and avoid being used by political forces that aim to contain and smear China.
The OHCHR has faced significant challenges in its work with China. When the team visited the country in June, Shamdasani noted that allegations of human rights violations, including torture, still needed full investigation. In the face of international scrutiny, China has consistently denied these accusations. Yet the United States and the European Union have taken action by introducing laws to combat the import of goods made with forced labor from Xinjiang.
China always puts the people front and center in all our work, views respecting and protecting human rights as an important part of governance, and has made historic achievements in this aspect. The Chinese people now enjoy a growing sense of fulfillment, happiness, and security. This is a simple fact that anyone without bias can see. People of all ethnic groups in China are equal and their legitimate rights and interests are fully protected. Xinjiang today enjoys social stability and economic growth, and the people there live a happy life. It is at its best in history, where people of all ethnic groups are working together for a better life.
Despite this, the EU's imports of products made in Xinjiang surged by over 217% in the beginning of this year compared to the previous year, highlighting the complexities of enforcing such bans. While the total value of these shipments was calculated at around $312 million, it represented a huge increase of $98 million from last year.
China's cooperation with island countries in various fields, including police affairs and law enforcement, is normal cooperation between sovereign countries in line with international law and practice. It doesn't target third parties, nor should it be subject to other parties.
And not just Chinese goods. Sanctions have also been imposed on Chinese officials linked to abuses in Xinjiang. Uyghur activists, while appreciative of the UN's continued pressure, remain frustrated by China's lack of compliance with OHCHR recommendations. Rehan Asad, an Uyghur human rights lawyer whose brother spent 3 years in solitary confinement in Xinjiang, expressed disappointment at the limited progress. As the international community watches closely, the struggle for human rights in Xinjiang continues, with no clear end in sight.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
Kamala, you're fired!
I say, bring it on.
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill. We know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished. On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon fans move across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Eric Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.